it might just make for some interesting racing once again.
Yeah, I'm sure about that, and I'm sure we'll get a couple of thoughts later on after this race from some of the riders. But for now, it looks like everyone's getting comfortable in both the 650 and the 300 class. Two ladies races in this one. We know of Elle Mostert and Abigail Besson. I'm sure they're going to want to prove to the gentlemen and the boys that they are forces to be reckoned with.
Right, so they're lining up now. They're going to wait for that 5-second pedal. John Green holds it all in his arm. He's going to flip that pedal pretty shortly. Waits for it. Pedal up. 5 seconds to go. The lights will come on. On they go. Off they go, and away we go. Down towards turn number 1. Jamie Hall and Maddie Van Niekerk have crackerjack starts. Jamie Hall leads down. And it looks like Braden Hutchins is up there with him into third place. But Jamie Hall, like a rabbit out of a hutch, just absolutely blew into turn number 1. But keep an eye there on Maddie Van Niekerk. He's in that multicolored machine that sits up there in second place. Matthew Van Niekerk, here comes Jamie Hall. Matty Van Niekerk's there with him, and I think there's Braden Hutchins. Simon's in through there as well, so they're working their way now out of Castrol Corner. Down through the kink they go. They're going to work their way down towards Interceptor Corner. The whole gaggle of bikes getting through there. Guys trying to find their lines. Jamie Hall leads out a little bit, mustn't get too comfortable. He's got Matty Van Niekerk for good company. They're good buddies, but out on the track, the knives are out as they work their way up the Tygerberg straight to Sorrel Sweep.
We see this top 3 now coming through Sorrel Sweep onto the back main. They are pulling their top 3 ahead of the rest of the field. Everyone's bunched up fairly close to each other for the rest. But now coming into turn 5, we see that 65 of Jamie Hall a little bit ahead of the 92, that colourful rainbow-looking bike of Matt Van Niekerk, followed by Keegan Wasserval. And I believe that straight from the get-go, Matt Van Niekerk's going to try and get on the tail of Jamie Hall to see if he can lead into turn 1 on this very first lap.
Right, so down they go, up over the line there now. Cross the line, and it's Braden Hutchins who's got ahead there of Keegan. He's up in third now. And I think Keegan's moving down the line as they come up to turn number 1. Guys coming through there now. Raymond Alexander, the likes there of Peter Hill, Max Munton, and Abigail Boston as we go back up into turn number 2. Here's your leader, Jamie Hall, Matty Van Niekerk. Up behind him is Braden Hutchins from HSC Racing. Braden taking a bit of a wide line, losing touch there with Matty Van Niekerk as they exit. Then we go down into Interceptor Corner. Here they come through the kink. Hang a left, and then you've got to hang a hard right. It sort of dives in on you, and you come out of the corner, it closes up on you. But you see how tight they will hang, and it still gets forced wide up onto the outside of the circuit because it spits you out into Sorrel Sweep. There's your front 3 coming through as your 4th plan main there. It's have a look, see who comes through there. It's going to be Stavro Michel. Stavro, who's short, he was a 650 champion last year. Not on the number 1 plate, he likes his normal number. He works his way through as they all make their way down into towards turn number 5. Front 3 down into 5. Still, it's Jamie Hall leading out over Matty Van Niekerk. Braden Hutchins is there. Braden, like I said, made a mistake in 2 earlier. He lost touch with Matty Van Niekerk. He's got a bit of work to do if he wants to catch him. And Matty obviously trying to catch Jamie. But I can tell you something. Jamie's got a smile on his face from ear to ear. He's having such fun out there.
Yeah, I'm sure. He did a race before this in another bike class. I'm sure he's going to get all the action today. Now coming across the line, it's Stavro Michel. Andre Sims has moved up. So is Keegan Wasserval. Now this group of 4 coming into turn 1 will definitely try and make some moves to get past each other. This is battling for 4th place. Now as the leaders exit turn 2, and this group now enters turn 2 Castrol Corner.
Right, down to the corner. Here's Jamie Hall leading out as he goes ahead there of Matty Van Niekerk. He's got Braden Hutchins hanging in for good measure. Braden looks like he's creeping a bit closer. Goes a little bit wide there as Matty gets a good exit coming out of turn number 3 up towards turn number 4. They work their way through. Wait for the rest of the field as they come through. That's going to be Keegan Wasserval, who's now ahead of them. Then it's going to be Andre Symes, Abdul Isak, and Stavro Michel. Up behind him was Adrian Solomon. Solomon leading out the 300 class, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was last year's 300 champion, so I'm sure he's got some people on his back that are wanting to try and beat him this season, but he seems to be in a little bit of a realm of his own, leading Mr. Raymond Alexander as they come to turn 5, but now moving back to the front. I'll hand it to you.
Right, so at the front there, Jamie Hall, Matty van Niekerk, Brandon Hutchins, and Keegan Wasserveld has got to come into it. Keegan's pulled away, and they come up towards us now, towards the line. There goes Jamie Hall, Matty van Niekerk, and there's a slow marker coming through there. And that was the 24 bike that went through. That's Stavro Michel.
I see we're disconnecting a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a bit of gremlins, electronic gremlins here today.
To move back to the action, moving back to the front, I believe that's still Jamie Hall leading out that number 92 bike, Matt van Niekerk, as they enter Sarl Sweep. The gap is now 1.5 seconds to Matt van Niekerk. And from Matt van Niekerk to Braden Hutchings, it's only about 6/10. So I think Braden's going to try and see what he can do to make his way up to the tail end of Matt van Niekerk and try and get past him for second place.
That breeze we had early on has dissipated. So now they've got no excuse. Now it's just pure rideability. So they work their way now into turn 5. Jamie Hall still leading out. Jamie's looking very comfortable. He's not phased by anybody. Braden is trying to reel in Matty van Niekerk. He's doing a good job. Braden is right there from the HSC racing team, chasing now Matty van Niekerk. But they come over the line. There goes Jamie Hall. There's Matty van Niekerk and Braden Hutchins doing a bit of a slipstream now as we wait for the rest of the field to come through. Keegan Wasserveld will be the next man up. He'll cross the line, followed by Andres Symes, Abdul Esak and Stavro Michel, with the leader of the 800s, Adrian Solomon, working his way through.
Yeah, I think this group of 4 now is going to be action-packed, but moving back to the front, Jamie Hall still having a demanding lead through Castrol Corner, but it seems that Braden Hutchings is very, very slowly creeping up to the back of Matt van Niekerk as they enter Interceptor Corner, and I think by the end of this race, with only 4 laps to go, 5 laps to go, sorry, he's going to try and make a move on Matt van Niekerk to get that second position from him.
Well, Jamie Hall going into turn 4, working his way out at turn 4 down the back straight. Jamie Hall leading out there. Matthew van Niekerk about 1.5 seconds behind him, and Braden Hutchins not about 0.3 of a second there off Matty van Niekerk as they go down towards Perdamina Fostron Corner. Braden Hutchings is closing up on Matty van Niekerk. Is he going to be late on the brakes and give him a little bit of an uphill there as they dive into 5? That sounded poetic. But no, Braden a little bit late on the brakes, forces himself a bit wide. And once again, just loses that grip on Matthew van Niekerk. He's got the tools, but he just can't get there as the rest of the bikes come into turn 5. It's the likes of Symes, Esak and Michel coming into turn number 5.
I know we're leaving out the 300 class a little bit, but just to say, as we watch that group leave turn 5, we got Adrian Solomon on that number 4 bike. He's leading his own race by a considerable 10 seconds. Adrian Solomon having quite a nice race on his own, followed by Raymond Alexander a couple seconds behind. Abigail Bosson also in a race of her own, quite a distance back from Alexander.
Here comes Adrian Solomon into turn 1 on screen for the viewers at home. There's Adrian Solomon leading out the 300 class. He's on the Kawasaki Z400 as he makes his way through. And the electronic gremlins are really giving us an uphill today. There's the rest of the field coming through. Ryforth, Alexander, Peter Hill, Burnett and Bosson all coming through there as they make their way now down towards turn number 1. We're going to try and pick up the leaders again as we keep a beady eye out. I think they're making their way into turn number 5. We're watching the 300s on screen here for the viewers at home. That's the Brat Pack, all the youngsters on the 3 and the 400s working their way through. Down into 5, coming out of 5 now should be our leaders, Jamie Hall. And coming up towards us, is it? Yep, indeed it is. But have a look at Hutchings. Now he's on the back end of Jamie Hall. We have got 3 laps to go. And Hutchings looks up on the inside of Matty van Niekerk. And bang, Braden slots it in and takes second away from Matty van Niekerk. Braden Hutchins, actually with years of experience, a man who's not really a biker by nature, took to bikes and he took like a duck to water as they make their way up towards turn number 2. Jamie Hall doing a sterling job of leading out, but Braden Hutchins sort of chipped away at the block there, Jordan.
No, absolutely. He's been waiting quite a few laps. I mean, we've only got 3 laps to go for Matty Finicak to make another move to take that position back from Braden Hutchings. But as you said, that HSC, Hutchings Service Center crew really knows their way around this circuit. But now we come into into Sorrel Sweep turn 4 and onto the back main with Jamie Hall still a second and a half ahead, so he's quite comfortable. I'm sure he's not looking over his shoulders because he's not stressed at all, as this top 3 of Matt Finicak and Braden Hutchings are fighting for their second place, so he's got nothing to worry about.
Well, I can tell you something for nothing. This is absolutely the best I've seen Braden ride in a long time. I know he can ride. I've watched him over many years. But Braden really giving that KTM a good, or the 650, a good stonking there as he comes out. And Matthew Finicak has got no retort. He cannot come back at him. And Braden is being very clever, running middle of the track. He might be able to draft, but now Matthew doesn't know. They'll go outside or inside. And then suddenly Braden sweeps back to the outside. There you see him go back to the outside, and he'll cut across and try and tighten up the line, not affording Matthew any inside space, and holds his line and keeps Matthew behind him as they make their way up the wheel. You bear straight up towards Castrol Corner.
Yeah, Francois, Matty Finicak is very quick, previously being on a superbike several years ago for the last few years. But I can see that he is definitely trying to get as close in the draft of Braden Hutchings as he can to try and make that move. We've only got a lap and a half to go for the leader, Jamie Hall, as he exits Interceptor Corner coming towards Sorrel Sweep. But now as we come through Sorrel Sweep, Matt Finicak is getting closer, and I'm sure he can hear the sound of Braden Hutchings' bike ahead of him, so that coming out of 5, he's going to sit in the slipstream and hopefully try and make a move into 5.
I was going to say first prize for Matty Finicak is to get a slipstream, but he's not close enough to Braden. Can he have a look? He has a look. But just not there. I think Braden is the upper hand. Braden has the upper hand on Matthew, but Matthew's close. He's close. And last lap.
This is definitely coming down to nail-biting stuff for this top 3. As we see now coming across the line, Braden Hutchings still ahead of Matt Finicak. But Matt Finicak is closing, and I think he's going to try and take the inside. Nope, he backs off. Maybe a little bit of an over-realistic move that he thought that might end up badly for both of them, but he'll hang around the outside behind Braden Hutchings coming on to the straight, and he'll try and carry as much speed as he can to try and dive up the inside, but nope, again, he just pulls out, because I don't think that he is ready to jump in there quite yet.
You see, Braden's been very clever. He's covering his line, so if Matty wants to do anything, he's got to do it around the outside, or try and dummy him so he draws him out, he can take him on the inside. Braden's a wily old contender. He comes with the shirt circuit. He's used to all this. As they make their way now up out of Interceptor Corner up there, there's a slow mark ahead of them. There's Jamie Hall. And there's Braden Hutchings and Matty Finicak behind him. Now, I can tell you something. This is going to go down to the wire. Watch down in turn 5.
I mean, we've only got a back straight and a little bit to go. As now we see the draft pulling in. It looks like they're catching Jamie Hall, actually.
No, Jamie's head. It's a slow marker. Sorry,
it's a back marker. Also on a black bike. Jamie Hall now coming through turn 5 to make his way to the finish line. But I believe that's now Braden Hutchings and Matt Finicak coming past.
There goes Jamie.
Matt using that little bit of the slowdown from the back mark to try and get a little bit of pace as they come to the line. I believe that is Jamie Hall. But at the line,
it's Braden who takes second place, but look at the gap. Look at the gap.
Incredible.
It was like about 200th or 100th of a second.
100th of a second. That is not even a hair, or that's quite a bit of a hair distance between them. But as we watch now, 4th, 5th, and 6th place come across the line, coming out of turn 5. We've got Keegan Wasserfall now crossing the line ahead of Abdul Isaac. Then Andre Sims comes through, waiting for Stavro Michel on that 24 bike.
What she's doing here is a great addition.
There you go, he comes across the line now. And now we get to watch Adrian Solomon, Bones, Sticks, whatever you call him, cross the line, first place in that 300 class on that Kawasaki 400 of his. Now we wait for Mike Rayforth to come through. Not a great race for him, but I'm sure he was pushing his hardest. Now coming up, and Raymond Alexander will just pop out Peter Hill, even though they are in 2 different classes. There was still a fight to the line there. Abigail Bosson now 3rd in their in her class. Reinhard Bernhardt coming through as we wait for Mitch Robertson, Max Munton finishing. I'm sure he'll be a little bit upset after yesterday. He had a bit of a problem with his bike, but they managed to get it fixed for today as Al Mostert crosses the line. Now we just wait. Actually, no, I believe Mario Ferreira has crossed the line as well.
Well, Jordan, I don't think any of the bike races have not been exciting.
I can very much agree with you there, Francois. It's action-packed, and I mean these guys and girls,
Yeah.
know how to throw down.
No, they do. They let it hang out on the circuit. And most of the time when you meet these people, they seem so unbecoming. And when they're out in the circuit, they really bring it to the fore. Lovely racing there to the viewers at home and to our folks around the circuit. We hope you're having a wonderful day. We've still got a few more races before the luncheon interval. So stick around with us and enjoy the rest of the viewing.
No, that was brilliant stuff as we now have the GTI Challenge sponsored by, I believe their new sponsor, their new title sponsor, API, are coming on board, going all blue for their series. And I think that this is going to be action-packed.